welcome to the Saturday Night Live Afterparty. This week, we'll be discussing Season 47, Episode 18 of SNL with host and musical guest, Lizzo. I'm Katherine Coleman, and this week I'm flanked by New York comedians Charlotte O'Trimba and Pat Riley. You can find them on the interwebs at Charlotte O'Trimba and at Not Pat Riley, respectively. If you'd like to connect with me, you can do so at Katherine is Funny or at snlpodcast.com. All right, here we go. Okay, Lizzo in the house, giving us a very twerk-heavy episode. We love to see it, and I love to see you guys. How you doing, Pat and Char?
Fantastic.
Woo!
So good.
So happy to be here.
I love that y'all just met 10 minutes ago and I've already given you like a cute name for your comedy duo. Pat and Char.
Pat and Char.
I think it's,
Yeah.
it's great.
I love top billing. I've never had top billing before, and I feel like it's empowering. I like it.
I'm empowered.
Yeah.
Nice. So Charlotte, I know you're here. I mean, we'd love to have you on, obviously, but as soon as you saw Lizzo was hosting, you were like, I must
Oh my
be on
God.
this episode. So yeah, I mean, you a big Lizzo fan?
Oh my God. Such a fan. Like from the beginning, I was obsessed with her. I have listened to her songs on repeat. I mean, obviously. And then also I just love her attitude. She's just so inspiring, so confident. So like, I feel better about myself, like, because I'm inspired by her. And I feel like she's so multi-talented and so genuine and charismatic that I just love her for that. And then it also means that she's going to be fantastic on SNL. So can't wait to discuss.
And Patrick, are you a Lizzo fan as well?
I love Lizzo. Lizzo is incredible. I think she is top tier celebrity for me, where it's like, you know, there's certain celebrities that you just keep hearing they said something or they did something, and there's a little bit of you that's like, oh no, what happened? Lizzo's the opposite, where like if Lizzo said or did something, I'm like, oh, is she trying to have a baby with Chris Evans again? Oh, thank God. Oh, good for her. Good for her. I love that this is what I really love about Lizzo. It's a more recent thing, is she's unapologetically horny on Maine. And it is what I feel like it's what we need as a society, as someone who just is, it does not, I have sex. I am a sex positive person. There's no there's no shame here. And I love, she even in the monologue, I'm manifesting what it is. I love that. I really love that.
Yeah, I love that she is so unapologetic. I love that she shoots her shot. And like, Lizzo doesn't understand the concept of like a guilty pleasure, right? She's just like all out there all the time. And I love that.
Yes.
So yeah, all right. Well, with that out of the way, I'm excited to see your thoughts on what she gave us. So let's get into the show. For the cold open, public figures from Fauci to Leto share their hopes for this Easter season. And you know, off the top, I just want to offer like some very radical feedback that I really don't think anyone has ever leveraged before. Do you think they've considered not using Trump in a cold open?
Yeah.
I just don't know that conversation's ever been had. So on that note, yeah, Patrick, what do you think?
It's just it's beyond low hanging fruit at this point. Not saying that I do not enjoy it. I do think it is funny, but it also kind of I'm all for making him a joke. I'm all for making him a pinpoint of history where we all look back at like how stupid this guy is. That's great.
Mhm.
I agree. I feel like a little Rob that every single opening has to have Trump show up at some point. And how we honestly know if Trump is going to show up is, all right, is he playing Biden? He's not playing Biden. Well, then Trump's going to show up.
Right.
Because that's basically the telltale sign of everything. I watched this last night with my mother. And my father was leaving. And as the sketch started and Bowen came out as the Easter Bunny, my mother said this exact phrase, which I will repeat to you. Hey, Jim, shut up. Bowen's the Easter Bunny. Good for him. And that, I feel like, is how I sum up my opinion on this on the opening this week. Bowen's the Easter Bunny. Shut up. All right, that's where I'm
Yes.
at.
Fair enough. Charlotte, where'd you land?
I landed a bit higher than that. I think because, as Catherine knows, I notoriously get so sick of the overly political cold opens. Like, if I have to watch another like Senate hearing or like long thing with, I don't find those as interesting or fun. So this, where it's got an Easter twist, and I thought some of the jokes were really funny, from Bowen as the Easter bunny. It's like a Halloween light. Like, we have a creepy Easter bunny with no backstory. I always think it's fun to poke fun at holiday traditions where, we have really no connection between the Easter bunny and what Easter originally was, which was like to celebrate Jesus, right? Like, coming back from the dead. So I think it's fun that they did that. And then I also thought that they kept all of the cameo impressions short and sweet. I loved the Marjorie Taylor Greene lines. I thought those were really fun. The chocolate gun. I mean, like, and she's so strong as that. I loved the Jared Leto. I thought that was like sort of surprisingly funny. Yeah, I thought this was a strong cold open. I laughed more during this cold open than usual because a lot of times they're political cold opens. So this was a win for me.
Yeah.
Okay, high marks. Wow.
High marks.
I started Patrick on your mom's level. I was like,
yeah,
it's Bowen as the Easter Bunny. It's topical. It's not political. Whoa.
Yeah.
And then we went to Fauci, and I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second I forgave it of that, they cut back to Bowen. I'm like, oh, look, it's going to end. It's a 5-minute cold open. We love to see it. And then Trump came out, and I literally yelled, no.
I will agree with you there. Yeah. And it went on for a while too, the Trump.
It always does. It always,
which is part of the joke, to be fair.
Yeah, to be
100%.
fair. And he is great. He's so good at the impression. Yeah, like.
Yeah, and I think the structure of it is very good. The structure of like the run on. I think it works better when they do the parody of like the sports time thing, where it's here's the things he's gonna hit.
Yes.
But it's just the structure is very good. Problem is, we've seen that structure this season. I mean, what episode is this? This is episode 10 or 11 of the season, right? I think or
like it's high 18.
18. Well, I was close. Anyway, but it's like it's episode like 18 of this season, and we've probably seen it 15 times.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a little old hat. I will say, going for cameo impressions, and this is maybe the third time Chris Redd has done Eric Adams. It is a perfect Eric Adams.
I love
He gets the voice down
So funny.
perfectly. He
has a take on it too. Like there's a comedic, like he found the funny thing to like throw in there, which I love.
Exactly. It's that overconfidence, and it's thinking you're the cool guy in the room.
Yes.
Right.
And and he does it so perfectly. It's so exciting.
I love when he like maintains the eye contact with the camera when he's like, unless you like that. It's so funny. I was cracking up.
Yeah, there was stuff that I really liked here. I loved Eric Adams. I loved Jared Leto. The Trump my hatred for the Trump just overshadowed it all. And I don't know, it kind of sucks. So yeah, the things to like here, things to not like. But overall, sounds like we're happy to see at least a change of setting in the cold open. Yeah. Okay, well, bitch. It's time for Lizzo's monologue. And it's going to set the record for most times bitches said, bitch. Now, Charlotte, I know you're super excited for Lizzo, as we discussed. So is this all you hoped it would be?
Listen, first of all, can we talk about her outfit? Crushed it. The blue sequins. I mean, like, just everything. The shoes, the shrug thing. Okay. Just want to say fantastic. She looked phenomenal. She had the charisma. She had the energy. She was sort of playing off the audience. I loved that her mom was there. And I loved all of that. I will say I didn't think there was there weren't like super witty lines or something where I was laughing or I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know if I was craving maybe a couple of lines that poked fun at herself or poked fun at something else, or It was just sort of middle of the ground, I would say, but her energy really carried it, and I thought it was like a great opening, and it didn't go too long, and it sort of like set the energy level for the rest of the show.
Interesting, because I really liked it. I thought it was super fun. You know, no one had any doubts about if Lizzo had an ability to do the monologue because
Right.
she's naturally funny, she's naturally charismatic.
Mhm.
All they had to do was write something with like a good path for her to follow.
Right.
And I actually think that they did a really good job because writing like really witty, like sharp jokes. I mean that's great, but at the same time, like we kind of just want to see Lizzo be Lizzo, right?
That's true.
And like
No,
and like
you're
give
right.
us that line of like it's manifesting and like make a funny
Yeah.
face. So yeah, I mean it's exactly what I expected and it's like exactly what I wanted. So I was happy with it. Pat, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. My first thought is I would definitely jump in front of a bullet to save Lizzo's life. Like if that, and honestly in America it's becoming increasingly likely I will have to jump in front of a bullet for someone. If it was Lizzo, I would do it. So I would literally die if I died in her arms and got to look up and just be like, please go be free. Go. Get out of here. I love her. Her energy is incredible. She's so natural. It's one of those things where it's just like once in a generation kind of just attitudes of just like there's so much and it's positive energy. It's there's no negativity to it. Like even there's some people who are like, oh, there's a fun energy there, but you can see there's a little, there's something there where you're like, I don't know about that. With Lizzo, everything she radiates is just pure happiness and excitement and confidence. It's so incredible to see. Her outfit was blindingly wonderful. Like I love like the second I was like, I can't wait to see every drag show have this outfit from now. I can't wait to see there's going to be so many homemade outfits trying to match. Honestly, whatever what she wears throughout the whole show is just fantastic. But yeah, I had a thought during the middle of her monologue where she kind of started laughing at her own jokes. I was like, oh, she's going to break in one of these sketches. She's going to break. And boy, was I on the money with that.
Well, you said one of, and what you meant to say was all.
Was
Yeah.
every line she's gonna laugh at herself during, and I don't care. She's I'm so happy watching Lizzo. I'm just so happy that she's having fun. Like essentially, it's what's going on.
Like my thing with breaking is always it can add to something and make it be funnier as long as it's genuine. If it's a fake break just to get an extra laugh, do not give me that. But Lizzo was genuinely having the time of her life, and that kind of breaking is contagious to the audience.
Yeah.
All right. High marks on the monologue. Let's get into the rest of the show. Welcome to Guess That, where they are wearing out the batteries on those buzzers. Pat, was this a win?
I think it was a win. I really liked the sketch. I was a little worried when I saw that it was a game show sketch because they have had a string of like the last few episodes doing the same kind of sketch, almost beat for beat of here's something you did weird on social media or here's something awkward that you've done in the history. And I love those sketches. I really do. I think those sketches are always fun. But I was like, oh, we're doing another one of these. And then the fact that it was flipped this time where the person in power was not the host and it was here's Lizzo and she's the one who's now going to start like, she's the and also like good, like, especially for a first time guest, it's so rare that they get to have a sketch where they are the crazy one,
Especially
usually
the first sketch.
Yeah.
at first sketch. Yeah. It's like, I thought that like my first thought after watching this episode, this sketch was, oh, she's going to kill this episode because if that's the level of confidence she went in with the first sketch that she's in, like it's so hard to be the funny one out the gate. It's so hard to be the one with all the jokes. And Lizzo's character is so, like I would love to see when she inevitably comes back to host for a second time. I would love to see this character on another game show or like Jeopardy. Put this character in Jeopardy. That would
yeah, that's fun. Yeah, don't make the game show recurring. Make the character recur everywhere else. I absolutely love this too. I'll admit when it started, kind of what you were saying, Patrick. My overthinking writer brain was like, oh, like the game is that the contestant is bad, and it's not. Is that going to be as strong as a premise where the game show is the funny thing? But then, as it became clear that like, oh, this is a character piece. This character lashes out when she doesn't get her way, and I was just cackling because Lizzo performed the hell out of it, and I love the everything here. The pacing was great because it starts out she's not into it, and then she lashes out, like calls him a gaslighting narcissist. Then everyone's on board. You know, it was just excellent. And then there's that sub game with the buzzers that I loved. This just it really had a lot going for it, and not least of which was Lizzo's performance. And so this was a good time. Charlotte, where'd you land?
Yeah, I don't have much, that's different to add. I totally agree. It was such a win. And I also just, in addition to everything you both said, I love this idea of sort of like turning, like, it's sort of like turning it on its head, right? Like generally you would think like, okay, yeah, this guy's a bad guy, but it's sort of like turning that argument on its head and showing that it's like often overused kind of in like those TikTok videos and things. And so I just love that she has like hijacked this language that's reserved for like, real life sort of therapy situations and like, and it's become sort of popular, culture, and then now just like using on a game show to like rally up the other contestants and like take over. And I just loved like how it really heightened too. It was like, from like, okay, I don't want to play. I'm going to be mayor of Gametown. I'm getting us a better hotel. Like, I mean, it was just sort of like this perfect mix of almost realistic, like, and it wasn't so sort of outlandish. You could almost see this happening in a way, which made it even funnier, I thought.
So big win there.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like going forward, next time you go to a Lizzo concert, you're going to see a lot of t-shirts that say Mayor of Gametown.
Yeah.
Because I'll be making them and I'll be selling them at the door because that should follow her for the rest of her life. It's so funny.
Start now. Just start selling them.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Forget studying for the LSATs. Let's see what's on TikTok. And so I don't know if everyone remembers, but it's now a recurring sketch. So we debuted the TikTok scrolling parody with Billie Eilish. Charlotte, did you think it lived up to that? And what did you think in general?
Yeah, I thought this one actually was better, I guess, quote unquote, than the last one because it had sort of a theme a little more. I felt like the last time they were just sort of, and it was still funny. It was like parodying TikTok in general. And so there was less of a theme, like a thread kind of. You'd see some recurring like with the nurses the last time, but I felt like this time it was fun to keep seeing how one character would keep coming back. Like for instance, the four-legged guy. I mean, what a hilarious also like idea. I guess it's like there are so many things on TikTok that are like, I'm trying this right now. It's like day something. And like, I love that they found something so extreme and odd to do. And so then you could keep seeing somebody, that happens. And then somebody's like commenting on it. And then like at the very end, it's the person coming in. So I thought it was short, sweet, funny, and, a great sketch, honestly. I mean, it's not like, it's very much a moment in time sketch, I would say. This is like this is popular right now, scratches that itch to sort of make fun of what's happening right now on TikTok. And it's great for that.
I thought this was great. I was a big fan of the first one, and I thought this was different enough and new enough that I was happy to see it again. Like over the past few weeks, there's been a few recurring sketches where I've complained on the podcast that they didn't quite freshen it up enough between outings. It was just like a very much retreading the same thing. But this did that. It's a completely new thing that follows similar beats, right? And so I love how accurate of a parody of TikTok it is. I love how they're able to layer the jokes. Like, we see somebody do something, then we see Eggo's like reaction TikTok to it. I think that's so great. But the main thing that I like is that it's so good for Lizzo. If we look at, Billie Eilish was the first one, and we look at Lizzo, Billie Eilish's target demo is young kids that are on TikTok. Lizzo has a huge presence on TikTok. So this is just smart. This is writing for the host. And I love it when they do that. So I think this is good. This is fresh. This sort of youthens the show a little bit in a way that doesn't actually make the kids cringe. I think
Yeah.
it actually, you know, it is relevant and really good stuff. Pat, was it a win for you?
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. I really thought this was a improvement on the Billie Eilish one, which I didn't hate at all. I just didn't think it was, you know, I didn't think it was ready. It was very much less like, because this is what it is. It's basically like 10-second sketches is what this really is, parodying all these things, where you kind of have
Mhm.
to have an idea going in, but you don't need that with this because it kind of just works on its own because it callbacks itself. I really enjoy, because I mean, like, I spent a lot of time on TikTok, and I've seen all of these TikToks like a dozen times. And also the dad at the very end, and it was his dad as the dad on his knees.
Yeah, it was great.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
And
Yeah.
another thing, I think I mentioned this last time with the Billie Eilish one. I highly recommend going back and just watching it and pausing to read what they set as the usernames and the captions, because there's fun little details in there. Like whoever's editing it or doing the effects like
Uh-huh.
has a good time. So like on Punk, you know, Punky had the whole thing about people
Yes.
using the wrong your, and the caption had the wrong there in it.
I
So, like,
died.
she didn't even know what she was talking about.
I also noticed that, Catherine. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you brought that up.
Genius.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's just those little details, and they know that, you know, 10% of the audience is going to pay attention to it, but they got us with that.
Because you know what? We live in a rewatch world, you know? Most of the people
Mhm.
who are watching this sketch don't watch it when it airs, they watch it on YouTube the next day.
Right.
So someone's gonna probably, you can pause it and take your time and look at it. So that's so
Mhm.
smart to not add it, not just make the whole, just all jokes all the way. I like this one a lot. So yeah, so far this show, fantastic. I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah, off to a really strong start.
Yeah.
Two big wins, and we liked the monologue. So let's keep going.
Woo.
Let's look inside the Black Eyed Peas songwriting process. Pat, what'd you think of it?
I love the sketch. I love this sketch. This was such a well-written sketch. I was so happy every time. I knew the beat was coming. I knew what they were gonna do, and every time it was like watching. It was like watching, like, it's like game 8 of the World Series. Like you're just sitting there, like it's got down to it, and your team just hits a home run every time. And like when she was going through, people in the place. Wait, who's in the place? The people. Where? The place. Who's at the place? People at the place. I was like, oh my god, what a
So
Lizzo could not keep it together for a
Uh-uh.
second of this sketch, and I do
No.
not blame her. I was in tears. When Bowen S. Taboo being yelled at, loved it. Yeah, big. Catherine, what did you think?
No, I really liked it as well. I thought it was so good. I do have some notes.
Go ahead.
But to be clear, I do love it. Now, the Black Eyed Peas lines are so generic in a way that never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
Now, like I was like, you're right. She does just say the people in the place, and that's insane.
Yeah.
And so, as soon as it started, as soon as I saw them, I said, yes, they're gonna make a joke about the ill-fated original name of Let's Get It Started, which of course is Let's Get R Word, which was crazy even at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately that was a
Yeah.
bad idea, but they
Yeah.
went forward with it and then said, nope, let's change it. So I was just waiting for that joke, and then I got it. I was so excited. And then, like you said, Patrick, the people in the place, that beat was golden.
Genius.
It's
They
one
are
of those things.
masters. The two of them, Cecily and 80. I
And
mean,
80.
that was.
Oh.
I mean, it was
Mhm.
like so fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Perfect timing.
It's
And-
what that little bit is one of the funniest things I've seen on SNL in years. And I
Yeah.
don't mean, like, there's some funny stuff. When she did that, started crying. I was
yeah.
literally crying tears because it's so
She's
and maybe
such
it's
a good
because
singer.
she's such a good singer. Oh, she's
yeah.
so good.
She nailed it. Yeah.
So good.
And that's just such a specific thing to pick up on, and so heightened to repeat it that
Yeah.
many times.
Mhm.
And here comes my note. Get to it sooner. That's the funnest bit. That's the funnest part. And we had, we have to have the setup. We have to have the boom, boom, boom setup. But I do think we could speed through Bowen and Chris's bits a little bit. as much as that pains me to say that because they're both brilliant performers. But I do think that part went on a little long, and I was just like, I want more people in the place.
I would say, you know what we could drop out of that bit
Mhm.
was the bit that they keep going back to. These producers, man, they're like vultures and stuff like that. I felt like that was like that's the weakest thread, and if you pull that thread out, it still works because at no point are they outside of Bowen's you're suffocating me. It really doesn't get a laugh for like that part of the thread. You could just take that out, and it's still a wonderful sketch. That it would just be it'll be a little snappier, a little
get
better
the pace
pacing.
up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a fairly minor note at the end of the day because it is so fun by the end when she's pointing to them like, and just do it. They heightened it so well. I loved it. Charlotte, I know we've already talked about everything, but what did you think?
Sorry.
No, I love it. I would agree. I felt like it went on a little long, and I agree. I thought it was that thread, and I thought, I think it just could have been cut and gotten to the people in the place bit sooner. So I just totally agree. And I also just wanted to add that the costumes and makeup and hair were excellent because as soon as it started, I knew who it was. Right? Like I think we saw them before they even said it was the Black Eyed Peas, and I immediately knew. So I just wanted to give kudos because they just captured it perfectly, and that's such a testament because I thought that was just so excellent as like, and then also I thought they all kind of embodied like the attitude of like coolness and everything of each of their people. So
for sure.
Yeah. This is our Blue Oyster Cult more cowbell is people in the place. And and that's a hill I'll die on.
No, I don't think that you're like, I think that's actually very fair. This is for our generation, this actually it's a very similar sketch in a lot of ways. And I think it does have that people in the place bit, man. It does everything.
It was so good. Oh God.
Okay. Well, I mean, can they top it? Who's to know? But we're gonna find out. Okay. So up next. This girl's grandpa is the Six Flags guy. Charlotte, where'd you land on this one?
Oh my God. What a freaking random, hilarious idea. Like, I loved it so much. Like, the level I cracked up at this, I just love when there's like silly comedy. And this was like silly comedy. And like, I loved the idea, the premise. I love how it executed. I loved this thing of like, oh, it's because my grandpa's white. It's like, no, it's the Six Flags guy. I loved the sub game of him not being able to perform, that they all just assume he is not able to perform in the bedroom. I thought this was so silly and fun, and I love that they just kept going, that it was just that there was another Six Flags guy and then a whole group of them. This is so random. I loved it. This was probably my favorite sketch. It was so silly. And I know it's so random to say, but I just thought it was so fun. And also just like the joy on everyone's faces, like from Lizzo to every one of the dancing Six Flags people. Like, I just thought it was just sort of like good old fashioned, like fun, like comedy fun. I don't know. It wasn't trying to be too intellectual. It wasn't trying to be something it wasn't. It was just like, this is a silly sketch and we're going to commit to it. And I just loved it.
Fair enough. Pat, you agree?
No, I don't. I'm so sorry.
No!
I didn't like the sketch at all.
What?
I thought this is for me. This was probably the weakest of the night.
I thought it was so fun.
It had one. It had. Well, you reminded me. It did have two jokes in it. I think the second joke was stronger, of him not being able to perform, but it just the whole, like, it was just him. And again, this I thought was the weakest of the night. I still enjoyed it. I did not hate it, but yeah, I just thought it was very one note of just like it's the Six Flags guy, and then instead of their way of heightening was just adding more Six Flag guys, and that wasn't great for me. This is one where I thought Lizzo breaking was bad for the sketch, because sometimes she would start breaking before characters would enter, and it was like her laugh there were like, I'm glad she's liking it, but I didn't find that as funny as Lizzo did. But yeah, this is not my favorite sketch of the night.
Damn.
Okay, I'm gonna land in between you. I'm gonna split the difference here, because I like this. I think the initial reveal is so funny. When she came out, I said, "Is that the Six Flags guy?"
Yeah.
And the issue is, I think it had a hard time figuring out where to go from there. Because he comes back with tea, and I was like, oh, this is gonna like the height, and he's gonna have to dance every time the song plays, and he's gonna like spill the tea and burn people, and like that's gonna be this thing. But then that really wasn't the thing.
Yeah, it gets thrown away.
Right.
And,
so it sort of felt like, what are we doing with that? What was that? So what was the idea behind that? And then I like Grandma comes out. I'm like, okay, this is fun. That she's not the Six Flags guy. She's just a Six Flags guy. And then like the fact that there's a whole community of them is such a fun idea. There's so much interesting stuff in here, and so many paths they could have taken. Like I wish like, but they didn't expand on any of it. Like I would love to hear more about the Six Flags man community. So like there's great moments here, and it is a fun time. Like you're right, Charlotte. It didn't try to be intellectual, and maybe that's the issue. Is like maybe I am looking at it like too harshly. Like maybe it didn't want to be that, and that is okay. But for me, ultimately, like, I wanted a little more to it, so it was kind of more middle of the road, but joyful.
Yeah.
I mean, I was filled with joy.
And hey. At the end of the day, isn't that what the point of the show? So
I mean, it's really
Sarah Sherman.
I find joy. It's just about if Charlotte did, you know?
Yes, right. Sarah Sherman freaking nailed that dance.
Oh my gosh, seriously!
That she was incredible. Like that, she did. I feel like she must have had that in her back pocket to be like,
look
guys,
what I
can do the six. And I really feel like this sketch, more than a lot of the sketches tonight, felt like a sketch that the host picked. This definitely was like something Lizzo thought was unbelievably funny, and because she really commits to this more so than any other sketch of the night.
So mixed reviews, but nonetheless, it is a good time. There are things to like, and Lizzo came to play for sure. So let's move on. Lizzo asks PDD to write her a Black woman anthem, but are they the guys to do that? And guys, I think I broke my husband, because when this ended, he went, "What was the game of this? Like, I don't feel like there were clear beats." And I was like, "I'm so sorry that I've done this to you with comedy, that you can't just enjoy yourself anymore."
Yeah.
But yeah, Pat, what'd you think of it?
I mean, he nailed it. I Please Don't Destroy. They're my Beatles right now. I just love everything they put out. This is honestly, again, this is one of their weaker sketches. It's still higher than 90% of comedy. Too much of his face is genius. I love funny. It. Yeah, the game outside of because it was just you have to write a song. 3 white guys are writing a song for Lizzo, and I just don't think that was a strong enough game. I was hoping they were gonna get meta and weird with it, but they really didn't. It kind of stayed on the track the whole time. Though, again, I loved it, and I think if SNL was smart enough, Horny Zookeeper will trend on TikTok.
You know, I agree. I think this was fun, but it's not the strongest thing because the premise isn't that strong. And I didn't think that their song pitches were that insane. Where then like their whole deal is just like completely out of left field stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like they were all just kind of
pretty grounded.
None of them went crazy. Yeah. So it was a little middle of the road for me. Charlotte, was a win for you?
Yeah, I would agree. I that's so funny you said that about the songs. I thought that too. I was like, those don't even like sound that weird or bad. Like it, you know, it's like so and I'm sure there was some trying to be careful to not, it's like a tricky thing. They are three white guys,
Right.
I'm sure they were trying to tread carefully. I thought the funniest beats were when there was that sense of urgency, which is what they're so good at with those quick
Mhm.
cuts, and they'll like, I need a song in 10 minutes. I mean, and
Yeah.
then the like Andrew Dismukes moment. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause that was so fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that was funny and heightened. So then I agree. I think what it needed was like, like super crazy. Let's go run, do this. I don't know. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
I needed something like Horny Zookeeper as a song pitch and then keep going from there.
Yeah, go from
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Horny Zookeeper was funny.
Okay, so we still like it, but lower marks on PDD. Let's get into these musical performances. Lizzo performs About Damn Time and Special. Charlotte, did you have fun with it?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, she's so good. The first song I didn't totally resonate with. If I'm being honest, did something sound off with the sound? It was like her.
Yeah.
There's always something off with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like her mic was too low or something compared to the music, but I still loved it. I think I just definitely loved the second song and performance better. I loved that her mom introduced her the second time. I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought both of these songs were a little more generic than other Lizzo songs. Like
Yeah.
they just felt like, okay, this is a pop song and not like, oh, this is a Lizzo song. But the performances were fully a good time. They're exactly what we expected. We had a flute moment, we had
Yeah.
dancing, we
Yeah.
had fabulous dancers. I loved all the lights. So it was like it was a good time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, when was she on? And she did like Truth Hurts or whatever.
Oh God. Yeah,
you know,
that was
these songs were
That
not
was
at
a
the level of
performance.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, what'd you think of these?
When she brought that flute out, it's kind of like when Prince steps forward with the guitar. I
Right.
lost my mind. It was like, oh my God, we're so lucky. We're so lucky that she got the flute out. And she's such an incredible performer because of both of them. Because it's so hard to do both big dance be the run around the stage person and then also command the same amount of power and energy being the quietly stand in front of a mic person. And she did both, and I think she nailed both. It's just the performance. I do agree the songs are extremely forgettable. I've already forgotten both songs, like what they were. But I remember the physical performance of it because God, she's just she's electric.
charisma.
And I
yeah.
love that her backup singers were also like bigger body people. It
Mhm.
wasn't that like, oh, she's backup singers and they no, oh my God, and they like all fucking shades of the world. It was a dream. It was Martin Luther King's dream. It was gorgeous. I love that performance. I feel like it's so important. It's so important for and we talk about representation. I don't want to alarm you, but I'm a fat. And it's we don't get a lot of fat people who aren't, when they're put in the center of thing, like the butt of the joke. At no point during Lizzo's performance did she go for comedy. She went for sex appeal the whole time.
Mhm.
It was power, it was set, and it's so refreshing that that's what we see. And that's why Lizzo, I think, is so important as an artist, because yes, Adele is incredible and all this, and she sings to us all, but Lizzo, there's no difference between Megan Thee Stallion or like Doja Cat and Lizzo in sense of this is who I am. Kind of, it doesn't matter that I'm fat. I am writing these sexual, like sexually empowering songs, and it does not matter what my body type is. And I think you don't see that anywhere else, and it's incredible. So yeah, I enjoyed it, Catherine. Why are you fighting me on this?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know why I
it's
got
great.
antagonistic there. I'm sorry.
It's
And
fine.
her just like breath control to go from dancing and singing to then
The
to like
fluting.
control the flute. I mean, it's like insane.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. We love Lizzo. Huge win on the performance. We just love her and everything she does. Let's talk about Weekend Update. Jost and Shay tackle everything from Biden's approval rating to a man with a dumbbell in his ass. Pat, what'd you think of this outing?
I thought it was fine. Nothing crazy. Did anyone else notice that the audience was really weirdly reacting to everything? They
They had a reaction.
but it wasn't like it like there's a few sketches. I think there's one coming up where like it just clearly the audience just was not in the mood for whatever the sketch was. And I felt
Mhm.
all of Weekend Update, the audience just was not there for them. And there were some really, I thought, good and clever jokes that either got very little or like or like gasps from the audience where it's like, what that
Yeah.
wasn't even like that hard to it's almost a thing of just like it's a G.I. Jane joke. Like calm
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't an offense.
Mhm.
Like he said something 2 minutes ago that was more offensive than that. Like they
Mhm.
did that. They gasped at the one that I was like, there's no reason for it was the heart attack joke with where he says a Peloton like the
Oh
punchline is
yeah.
a Peloton and everyone went, oh, and it was like, why?
Yeah, like
Why?
offended for Mr. Big from it just like that. Like
Exactly.
he was an
It's
asshole.
but it's just such a
Yeah.
weird, it was such a weird weird energy in the room, you know?
Mhm.
And that's what I took away from the whole
Yeah.
the whole Weekend Update was just it wasn't that it was bad writing. I thought the writing was fine. It was just the audience just was not there for it, you know?
Yeah. I find it sometimes when the audience reacts badly, I think it makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a me thing because it's like, Che had that joke about the driverless car and the cops still managed to shoot an unarmed black man and
Yeah.
the audience didn't even do like a gasp and laugh like a, oh savage joke. They were just like
Yeah.
and that
Right?
just made me double down on it.
I I agree, but also it's like that's not they've done that joke 100 times.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's not even that edgy of a joke.
I
It's
also
not that
love
it's even
Che's
joke.
reaction when there's that reaction because
Mhm.
it'll just be like
I'll just be like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, exactly. Like this is my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought all of the material was really strong. I thought the political jokes were sharp, and there
Yeah.
was so much
Mhm.
room this week for just fun stuff.
Yeah.
I talked on the show on the podcast last week about my favorite update jokes are always the ones that are the headline I never saw. Something like
Mhm.
obscure, like JetBlue and Spirit, or like the dumbbell one.
Mhm.
And there was so much of that on display last night that I really liked. But the crown jewel was the Krispy Kreme joke. And I'm still not over it. Now we
Oh.
did just have a whole TED talk
I
on
was gonna
about
say,
about like body positivity and everything, but it's still so funny
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
car can
Went
no
with
longer
that.
drag your fat ass around.
That one also got a gasp from the audience.
It
Yeah.
did.
And I was like, what is
they were not
happening?
happy.
They were not happy with that one.
But yeah.
I would say my favorite was the Ken with like the Barbies
Oh, the
leaving.
Barbie joke?
I don't know why I thought that was so silly and funny. Like, yeah, like I don't know. thought
I
that was
really
funny.
like the subway shooter looks like Grimace joke.
Yeah,
because
I feel like
he
they
was
were
waiting at
even
a McDonald's.
offended at that one. I was like,
Yeah,
why
that's
are we
another one. They were like they were so offended by like Che went,
Who's
what?
whose side are you on there? Are you on are you don't
Exactly.
make fun of the guy who shot a bunch of people at Drade? Or are you so hurt that we would even talk about Grimace, our Lord and Savior? What is going on? Like
Yeah, like, or the Kamala Harris. Like, I just love that. Kamala
Right.
just like,
Mhm.
oh, have you seen her? Like, it's
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The audience was
Exactly.
definitely weird.
yeah.
For
So
They
sure.
were so weird
offended,
the whole
yeah.
time.
It was so funny. But yeah, I agree. I thought this was a strong weekend update. I thought
This-
the jokes were sharp and fun. I loved it.
Okay, well, let's talk about our feature then. Another week with only one feature. Colin finally lets his driver Cesar do a little stand up. Charlotte, was this character a winner?
I thought this character was a win. I mean, I just think Melissa is so strong with her impressions. It was a bit of a slow start, I will say. It took us like a little bit to get going. I thought what made it funny was the continuing to go back and hammer the nephew, and
Yeah.
I think that's funny. So I think it took a little while to get there, and honestly, it was like one of those things where when I watched it the second time, I found it funnier. I think because I like sort of understood what was going to happen and the game better, and once that happened, I found it funnier. I think what I was trying to figure out why I didn't quite love it at first. And I think it was because I almost it was almost so sincere, her performance, that I felt bad, right? Like you almost feel bad for this person. And so I think it just needed to those mean jokes needed to come a bit sooner so that we understood the game was to keep shitting on the nephew and then understand that the nephew's weird and there was kind of a masturbation thing and those things were funny. So I thought it really got funny. I think if she does this again, I would just love things to the jokes to get going sooner, I would say.
I would say the I would say the joke that worked the best for me wasn't even the coming back to hit the guy. It was the hit the get the nephew with the dart. The joke that really worked for me is just how sincerely upset she was that she keeps going for it.
Yeah.
Like she can't no, like she can't help he can't help going to that well. So the pain in Melissa's face when she realizes she made fun of him again got better and better to finally check this mind demencia. I can't control it. This was such a big win for me. I thought this was I can't wait to see this character again. And his poor nephew, because Jesus is gonna wake up in his cave so mad.
I loved that. Yeah. I thought this was okay. I guess I'm maybe a little bit of the odd one out, but I thought it was a really promising setup, and I like the notion of this character instantly regretting what he said, because that is such a hard part of comedy, is that you're pointing out funny things around you, but sometimes those funny things are people, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, but they're weird. And my issue here is I don't think it heightened really beyond that. It sort of I would have loved to see the apologies piling on more or getting more and more complex or something like that. But it really just was joke, oh no, sorry, joke, oh no, sorry, joke, oh no, sorry. So I didn't feel like it really built on itself that much. But Melissa's performance was great, and I like the idea behind it, but it wasn't a home run for me. Well, I did enjoy it though.
Yeah. I completely understand. I'm not gonna. This won't be a hill I die on. It's fine.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Well, are we ready to get into the back half of the show?
Yes.
Okay. It's time to rehearse for the God King's weekly debauched party. Did anyone bring the goat? Pat, where'd you land on this?
This is the one where I realized the crowd hated it. The audience hated this sketch,
And Bowen loved it so much.
Bowen, everyone
he did.
Everyone in the sketch was having a great time. The audience just was not here for it. They were just they gave it very little. And I will say this, I enjoyed the sketch a lot. I thought this sketch was a fun ensemble sketch. It was, it was a good character showcase of little moments. Mikey Day is so funny in the sketch with the oh, I like that. Yeah, I like your eyebrows. Yeah, they burned off. It's just but yeah, everyone in the sketch was having a great time. And I think that's also added to why everyone was breaking this, because it's one of those things that when a sketch starts to go badly, you can't control yourself when you realize that, if they hated this joke, they're gonna hate this joke. You know?
Especially when it's so silly and you're like, oh, I'm in this diaper now, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah. It's you have to. It's that moment where you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to really commit to this, because if I don't, they're gonna just hate it more. So I might as well try. But I thought this was fine.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I respect the idea. You know what I mean? This premise, love me a ancient history theme. Kind of playing off of that absurdity, and I like this idea of we're gonna set it up like it's party planners are setting this up for the king. So I loved all of that. I just felt like it was really then nothing more than trotting out each different character and explaining what they are. So
Mhm.
it didn't feel like some sort of fresh take. It was just another sketch.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing about that because like you said, it just sort of each person had their moment and then moved on. And I wanted to see them interact and create more chaos with each other. And what's interesting is it dress rehearsal? I think it did do that because Bowen posted a clip on Instagram from dress rehearsal where it's the point in the sketch where they say, okay, we're going to do a run through to test the goat, right? So they do that. And then after that section in the dress rehearsal version, Lizzo says, now I'm just thinking, while this is happening, should I punish my boy for watching like this? And then they do the spanking thing. So it seems like
Oh.
in that version, there was more back and
Mm.
forth, but for some reason that got changed. And I would just be so curious to know why, because I feel like that would have felt more
Yeah.
elevated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also feel like structure-wise, that would have made more sense because Lizzo's thing goes on a little like, there's a few people who go on a little longer than
Mhm.
others to
Mhm.
the point where I'm like, either cut one or the other because it's just like, and I thought the sketch was fine.
Mhm.
The audio, you guys heard the audio. Like, I'm not losing my mind, right? Like,
Yeah, no, they did
they
not
got,
enjoy it.
they got to a point where, like, you couldn't even get and when the kid came out, that got nothing.
I thought
That
that
got
was
literal
Absolutely
funny.
nothing.
Yeah.
that got
Yeah.
literally nothing. I
Yeah.
thought that was a funny idea. I thought that was a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
funny because that's yeah, but that got negative reaction.
Yeah, I do love like they hit all those tropes great really well, and I love how much fun Bowen and Cecily were having. It
Yeah.
did feel genuine and contagious. So for me at least. So that
Mhm.
that I had fun with this. I do wish it had delivered a little more at the end. Let's keep going. Don't be racist. The DeVry Institute Symphony Orchestra can have a twerking flautist. Charlotte, what'd you make of this?
I was waiting for a flute moment in a sketch. And I
Yeah.
was so happy when this started because I was like, yes. So I thought it was just really fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it heightened, and then I loved the dramatic moment of the end, that they're all gonna
Mhm.
twerk, and I thought that was really fun. Yeah, I think the only thing that felt maybe or just confused me was that her manager seemed to be out of the 70s, like was just right,
Yeah.
like the outfit, and was smoking a cigarette inside, and so it just seemed like and the costume just seemed so specific of a choice. Like this is like a 70s era manager, but then twerking is very much a more recent United States popular culture phenomenon, right? Like
Mhm.
obviously,
Yeah.
she had her TED talk about how it's comes from
Right.
West Africa originally. Anyway, so that part was just confusing to me because then at first when it started, I was like, "Oh, is this taking place like back in time?" But then
Mhm.
but then it like wasn't in other ways. So
Right.
I'd say that was the only thing that was a little confusing to me.
That's fair.
Mhm.
And that is interesting because I didn't really think about it until you said so. But I don't. There's really no reason we need the Chris Red character in this.
Yeah, that's actually
He's
my first note is here is
Actually,
just cut that character.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
He just pulls attention from Lizzo, and that's not what we want here.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. But yeah, Pat, speak more to that.
No, I completely agree. Like Charlotte, nail on the head. It's just it's I feel like it takes all the attention away from Lizzo in the beginning to the point where Lizzo's character is very I play the flute and there's nothing to the character because now you're so interested in Chris Red who's coming with a lot of angles and a lot of different, he keeps saying repeating her full name and stuff like that and then it's it should and especially it's I feel like in another hosted by someone else who you can see that they couldn't handle the comedy as well.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Right.
But
Mhm.
Lizzo, this is towards the end of the show. Lizzo's proven time and time again with these early sketches that she can be the she can do a character piece. She doesn't need someone holding her hand.
Mhm.
Um and it like literally just cut the character and just make it like instead of it like they need a replacement suddenly is she is the replacement and
Yeah.
she's running a little late and that's all you need to do. And she shows up and everyone in the orchestra is kind of like, "Oh, just let her try."
Mhm.
Um but adding that kind of added another level that never worked for me. the idea that she twerks while playing the flute, it's a little one note. Them all twerking at the end was fun. You can tell which one of the people there knew how to twerk. 80
And by
80
which one
didn't.
you mean none of them? 80,
Yeah, I was gonna
None of
say
them.
who? Yeah, I didn't see anybody.
not a single
Well,
one.
Which is crazy because you literally have like Queen of Twerks right there. And
Mhm.
like Lizzo could easily have like told them how to do it. And I'm disappointed in Lizzo that she didn't take the time out to teach
with all
everyone
their
how to
free time. Yeah,
with all her free time. She didn't teach the cast how to twerk. But no, that was just like a minor thing that it kind of took me out of it a little bit. Where I'm like, oh, good for 80. She's trying so hard.
I mean, it sort of works because these people wouldn't know how to twerk.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
for us watching it, knowing like, like Heidi's like such a fun person on like Instagram. Like we know like Alex Moffat's like secretly really hot. Like we expect that
right?
we expect that 80
Secretly.
can maybe
I don't
do
think it's
that's
a
true.
secret.
That's true.
I feel like it would have been off game.
It would have been weird.
Magically
No,
you're
knew
right.
how to twerk. I think.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
You're right, it would, but also like knowing the cast as like 2022 people that live in the world being so bad at it was like, because at that moment you really kind of, you're not in the sketch anymore, at least me, because I am watching it a little bit meta-y and just being like, oh, can Kate McKinnon twerk? Can 80? Can Heidi? And it's just like, oh, no.
None of them can.
No.
I wonder if they did that on purpose. Now we
Maybe
can talk
so,
about how in the sketch they wouldn't know how to twerk. I wonder if that was a choice.
Maybe. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They all are probably master twerkers. Yeah, I think we've said it all in this sketch. It's a funny it's a funny premise. It did heighten, like we did end up in a place where the whole orchestra is twerking, but there was just a little something in there that held us back, that held it back from being as good as it could have been. And we talked about the twerking at length, so let's keep going. This man's life work is ruined. His Beanie Babies collection is worthless. Pat, did you like this one?
I did. I did like this sketch. I don't think this was very much a midnight sketch. Like this is end of night. It's almost 1 a.m. Let's all go home. It's very silly. I love that it's a perfect Mario. I love that it's the wrong colors. I love Lizzo's of just like, it's better than the actual Mario. Like that's that and it just Dismukes is so funny. I think Dismukes is his delivery on, oh, are they not worth money? Are you sure? Are any of them worth money? God damn it! Is so great.
He milked that beat in between before he threw the cupboard perfectly.
Yeah,
I thought this was really fun. I loved the sheer chaos that it reached at the end. Because I thought it was going to be just the Beanie Babies, but the Beanie Babies really went by pretty quick, and then we're into Mario, and then she's pregnant. Like it's full crazy town. We love it. I love Andrew's performance. I love the fact that Lizzo loved this so much.
Yes.
I do think the only note I have is that I think the beginning of it could have been just had a more streamlined setup to where like he's really into like the like financial independence, retire early thing, and it's in a way that it sets him up to be like his friends know him as the investment guy, and like he's really smart with money, and like it sets him up to be really smart, only for that reveal that it's Beanie Babies to hit even harder and funnier because we think he is a smart guy. But that's really minor because this is so fun and just so chaotic and so insane and perfect for the 10-to-1 spot, like you said, Pat. Yeah. Charlotte, any thoughts?
Agree. I loved this, and I think also just to expand a little, I thought their joy and their performances in this really just took it to the next level, and I thought it was such a fun premise because I feel like I can relate to it. Like there's always this, I remember I'll have these conversations like, oh, well, like I think I have a Beanie Baby or two, like, it's like, so I feel like it appealed to millennials in a great way. Like we all like had that thought like, oh, this Beanie Baby I had might be worth something. But So I thought that was really fun, and I just loved, like you guys said, the joy that Lizzo had. It was just palpable in this sketch. And I also loved the ending. I'm not gonna lie, like I loved
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
text and
It's a
like
strong
the
ending, yeah.
the funny like button, and that it just went all the way to like move to
Mhm.
Japan. Yeah, I
Right.
thought this heightened really well, and I thought it like wasn't a complicated sketch. It was
Mhm.
it was fun.
Mhm. Okay, well, that's the end of our rundown. Are we ready to talk about our big categories?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, well, up first is moment of the night. Patrick, what's yours?
My moment of the night is Andrew Dismukes saying his timing with the Beanie Babies. God damn it! Like the so they're worth nothing, huh? It's just such an elevation. It made me laugh. It made me laugh so hard. I've listened to him just yell "God damn it" a few times because I think it's so the timing's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great moment. Like, and I mentioned it in the thing. Like, he milked that pause so
He
well.
did, and it worked. He did
Mhm.
because sometimes if you milk a moment, it doesn't hit as well. But it's this it's he put his whole body into the slam, and that's
Mhm.
really what did it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, my moment of the night is people in the place.
yeah. It should have been.
That's
It's
so
that's
funny.
Yes.
ugh,
I need like just that clip to just put on my phone and play it every time I feel a little bit sad, and it'll cheer me
Yes.
right up.
yeah.
Charlotte, what's your moment?
I agree. Same moment. I thought the people in the place was such a strong moment. It just, just excellent comedy,
Mm,
Hmm.
excellent
yeah.
singing.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
perfection.
Okay. Well, up next is best sketch. Patrick, what's yours?
The Black Eyed Peas sketch, 1,000%. I love that sketch so much. I was almost gonna go with the Mayor of Gametown sketch, the game show sketch early on, but honestly, that Black Eyed Peas sketch is the people in the place. But it's not just people in place for me. There's so many quotable moments. The fact,
Mhm.
like I love, we didn't mention it before that the sketch ends with everyone saying, "Let's say a phrase that represents all of us, L'chaim, Mazel Tov," and like I was like, great. So funny, so funny.
Because are any of
Mhm.
them Jewish? I
Couldn't
don't
tell you.
think so. I don't think they
But
I
it
don't
are.
think
is
so.
it's such a random part of that song
Yes.
that has always driven me crazy. I was really torn between those same two, actually, Patrick. Guess that and the Black Eyed Peas. I think those are two
Mhm.
really strong sketches that have such wonderful moments in them. I think Guess That is probably the stronger of the two, but I'm gonna go with Black Eyed Peas because you know what? It's an instant
Yeah.
classic. It's
Mhm.
even with like its even with its faults. God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
People in the place. What else can we say?
Yeah.
Charlotte, what's your best sketch?
I'm gonna do it. The Six Flags man sketch. I
Oh, the
Okay.
just
Six Flags man.
it's just made me laugh in a way I like can't even describe. I thought it was so silly, and I love a dance number. There was a big ensemble dance number. I
Yes, there
loved
was.
it. And it was joyful, it was funny, it was silly. I thought it didn't take itself too seriously. I just loved it. I can't help it. So, I'm going with that.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, that's okay.
I
Catherine's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
disappointed.
No, I like it when we have different opinions. It
Yeah.
makes a more interesting show, and it's what makes SNL great. Is that there's something for everybody and
I
different
I
things to appreciate about each sketch.
I hope there will be comments that agree with me. Comment below.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments. Go off.
Go off in the comments if you hate Charlotte. Up next, MVP.
Please don't. I'm too fragile.
She is very sensitive. Please don't do that. Patrick, who's your MVP?
This one might surprise you guys. I felt like he was just consistent all show. And I don't know, because I feel like he played almost every straight guy, but Mikey Day is who I'm going for. I thought Mikey Day was real strong this episode. I thought he was great during the Six Flags sketch. He was my standout with the Egyptian pharaoh scene. And then as a conductor, had some really funny moments, especially after he's called racist. And he's just like, well, okay, well, now I have to. Now I have to. I thought was pretty great. Yeah. Was it on level with his performance in Is It Cake? No. No one can ever reach the heights of Is It Cake. But
have you actually watched Is It Cake?
Yeah. I watched all of Is It Cake, and I gotta say,
is it good?
No, it's not. But anyway, Mikey Day. Yeah,
Mikey Day. Okay, Charlotte, who's your MVP?
Okay, I had one in mind, but now I'm sort of thinking. Okay. Can I have two?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you who I'm between, and then maybe you guys can help me come to a decision. Okay. One. Patrick's dying.
I've never seen Catherine be so forceful before. I really love.
I'm so indecisive. I need it.
I was so expecting Catherine to be like, yeah, that's fine, but no, just very simple. No. That was fantastic.
You can tell that Charlotte didn't expect it either, because she just sat there in panic for a moment.
Yeah. It was a beautiful moment.
What?
It was
fine. I'll sacrifice my pride for the live performance. Okay. So first, I was gonna say Andrew Dismukes because I thought he had a lot of great moments, and I thought they played him off of Lizzo in a really funny way. Like they were together in the Please Don't Destroy. They had that dynamic. They were together in that weird Egyptian thing. And then they were great in the final sketch, the Beanie Babies. So I just thought there was like a lot of charisma, and I thought he really held his own. And I thought that he was such a great foil to Lizzo. So I thought he really carried all of his sketches really well and was really funny. And then my second choice is Chris Redd, because I just thought he was so funny as the mayor. And every sketch he was in, I thought he was really funny, and he always is. And I just thought that he really carried his characters well, even when they weren't the lead, right? Like, and that's always hard to be sort of the unsung hero. So
which one are you picking?
Okay. I'm going to choose Andrew Dismukes.
My MVP is Lizzo. Woo! I don't see how it's anyone but Lizzo. I'm disappointed in both of you.
I honestly was going to say Lizzo, but I didn't want to be the first one.
Feels like the safe choice, Catherine.
Yeah. I wanted to go outside the box, not, for the easy get. But no, I'm the villain here. I'm the bad guy.
Celebrate the cast, Catherine.
No, I won't.
No.
Lizzo was so good. She killed her monologue. She brought such great energy to everything. She was the host and the musical guest. She was everything except Weekend Update and the Cold Open had Lizzo in it. And she was owning it in everything she was in and leading, carrying on her back.
Yeah.
So many things. Lizzo killed it. She's going to be a 5-timer. I'm calling it. She was great. Okay, well, let's get into the big one. On a scale of classic, great, decent, weak, or train wreck, Patrick, how would you rate this episode?
I would say decent. I'd say squarely decent. I feel like some of the sketches in the second half were just weak, just like weak premise, like just not. But Lizzo carried through the whole time. The fact that Lizzo was committed the whole time is because honestly, I originally had put weak. I was thinking maybe this is a weaker episode, but Lizzo's performance and Lizzo's tenacity pushed this over the edge for me.
Very good. Charlotte, where do you land?
I'm going to go with great. I thought because she was such a powerhouse, she has this great energy that even when it wasn't my favorite sketch. I thought that she still carried it. And there wasn't anything where I was like so uh, opposed or something. So I didn't have like a visceral reaction in a negative way to anything that strongly. So, and I just thought on the whole, this was just a wonderful show, especially since like the last couple of shows were a little bit. Yeah, I just was happy for this show. So, yeah, I'm going with great.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna land on great too because those last couple shows were insert. And I thought this one was really good. I thought the first half of this episode was so strong. It had so much going for it. That game show was great. The monologue was great. Black Eyed Peas, as we know, was great. And I enjoyed the Six Flags thing. I didn't think it was perfect, but it was off to a really strong start. And then the back half was weaker. You're right, Pat. But even with that weak back half, I still found things to enjoy. There was nothing in this episode that on my rewatch I was like, oh, do I have to watch this again?
Yeah.
So I think it made it to great, and a big part of that, like Charlotte said, is Lizzo and her charisma and just her great energy coming into this. So,
yeah,
decent to great, but a solid energy and a great first time host for sure. I think we can all agree there.
Yeah.
Woo! Here.
Yeah, she'll be back. She'll be back 100%.
Yeah.
Yes,
for sure. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you both for being here. Charlotte, do you have anything coming up? What do you want to tell the people about?
Oh, I definitely have something coming up that I want to tell the people about. So, you may have heard of Lit Comedy since Catherine is the director and I'm also in it. So we have a sketch show coming up on April 27th, which is a Wednesday, and it will be live on YouTube. So you can watch it from the comfort of your home. It's a donation suggested. So I'm sure Catherine will drop the link, but you can go to litcomedy.com and check it out. There's a lot of funny sketches. I'm there. Catherine's there. Patrick will be tuning in. Yeah, like
Patrick will be in the chat.
We're all
fantastic. It's so good. I'll be in the chat just being like, ooh.
And that is at 8 p.m. On the 27th on YouTube. Patrick, you got anything coming up?
Yes, I do. I have this weekend, if you're listening to it as it came out, the 23rd and 24th, I think. I am going to be at the New York City Queer Comic Arts Fair. It's at the Center on 13th Street. I'll be there selling some of my comics and zines, but more importantly, I'll be selling my shitty paintings. Please watch my shitty painting series, Pat's Shitty Paintings, on Instagram. And you can watch me paint these in the nude, and you can go through the comments and see who out-creeped each other, because I leave them now. And you can see all the creepy things people have said to me while I paint my wonderful paintings. As you can see, this is my father. Thank you very much.
We love Pat's Shitty Paintings here at this channel. So yeah, go check his show out. You said that's next Saturday. What time?
Next Saturday and Sunday, all day. It's an all-day thing, right? It's a comic. It's a comic book. It's a Comic-Con for queer artists and stuff. It's a free event, so if you're in the village this weekend, come stop in, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great artists there, putting their stuff out. So it's a fun event.
Amazing.
Yeah, sounds like a good time. Awesome. Well, on top of the show that I directed that Charlotte's in, I also have a show with my brand new Boogie Manja team, Howdy Neighbor. That is the same Wednesday night, April 27th at 9 p.m. And it is on twitch.tv/Boogie Manja. So I have two shows in production right now.
The same night, an hour apart. But, oh my God.
I'm excited.
Wow. Just what a...
Thankfully, they're both digital, so... I don't have to run.
What an Olympic feat, honestly. Are you getting a medal? Are you going to be carried to Olympus with all the rest of the gods? Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you both for being here, and that is a wrap. Thanks to Charlotte O'Trimba and Pat Riley. And thanks as well to our most generous patrons, Neil Weinstein, Justin Gardner, Grace Kogan, and Brian Clark. If you're enjoying our show, please subscribe on YouTube or wherever better podcasts can be found. Your subscription helps us grow, and your support is greatly appreciated. We'll be back in 3 weeks when SNL returns with host Benedict Cumberbatch and musical guest Arcade Fire. But until then, this has been episode number 159 of the Saturday Night Live Afterparty podcast. I'm Catherine Coleman. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.